posting less is something that I see a lot of business owners do. The business owners who are like winning, right? And then getting all their clients and getting the recognition they want and desire, they're posting every other day, every day at that, to keep being consistent, being authentic.
Welcome to Still City Growth. I'm your host, Bill Ildenfritz. Each week, we'll explore the passions, expertise, and experiences of business owners and founders in the greater Pittsburgh area. Still City Growth is proudly sponsored by Murphy Business of Pittsburgh, committed to providing exceptional services to meet all your business needs. Let's dive in. I'm ecstatic to talk to my next guest. She's a young entrepreneur who has a passion for design, customer success, data intelligence, and business development. She is a client success manager at Aggie. She's also starting her own company. Nathalee Arroyo, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi. Thanks for having me, Bill.
Fantastic. I can't wait to hear some of these great conversations we're about to have.
Yes.
So the first question I always ask my guests is this. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
What is the number one most important strategy for growing your business?
The answer to that question would be consistency and authentic engagement, right? So social media is a long-term game. It's not about one viral post, but it's about showing up regularly with content that resonates with your target audience, right? And at Aggie, we see businesses grow 30% in followers and engagement when they post consistently. So like 3 to 5 times a week, while staying true to their brand voice.
That's excellent advice. How about, there are people obviously who just stumble on what to post. Is there any thoughts about like what's good to post?
I get that question all the time. And I think it really depends on, your business, of course, and what you're trying to get out of the post that you're posting, right? So is it more leads? Is it more engagement? Is it just more visibility for your company? And I get that question all the time, as I mentioned. And the best bet is to go through trial and errors, right? Post something, test it out. If it doesn't work, you're more than welcome to take it down, try something else. So all about trial and errors.
Yeah. How about the authentic part? Give me an example.
Yeah, of course. So a lot of people, a lot of business owners, they post a lot, and they don't know like what to post, as you mentioned. So they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be portrayed as such and such, or this or that." But the most important thing is to be authentic, right? Have that trust, build that trust with your community, the people that you're posting for, right? So that's what I mean when being authentic with your post and what you say in your post. That's really important because it builds that trust, that credibility for yourself.
Yeah, that's an excellent answer. And I agree with it. I will tell you, you and I have had some of these conversations. So let's say I'm driving my car, I'm a business owner, and I'm hearing about social media, and I'm like, yeah, where do I even start? What would you recommend?
I would recommend reaching out to, Aggie. That's where I work. I would recommend reaching out to us, and we have a great team of customer support where we'll actually help you, depending on what you want to gain out of it. But we'll help you understand what it is to post and when to post it, right? Kind of like a screening in a way, and then from there, give advice, give that. The knowledge and whatnot when it comes to social media. So great question.
Yeah. So you mentioned Aggie a few times. So what makes Aggie different?
What makes Aggie different is the the people, right? So we have a great customer support team at Aggie where you're able to speak to people within as soon as you send us an email, we'll reply as fast as we can. Other AI companies that do the same thing as us, social media automation, it's hard to get to customer support, right? It takes weeks, days, weeks, even months. So the fact that we have a good set of people on our team that helps people out, all these users. And then on top of that, we really do have the tools and metrics in our backend that I'll speak a little bit more about later on.
I will say firsthand, I'm with you and a couple of your colleagues. I agree with you. I would say within the day, if it actually hits 2 days, I'm shocked. You respond back, your team responds back. Even some of the bosses up there, they responded back and did great customer service. So I really appreciate them for sure. So I know AI combines AI with human support. How does that hybrid model solve problems that other tools can't?
Yeah, well, for one, you know, we do so it's an AI company, right? We have this tool, we sell it to our users, we help them with this tool, but it educates users, on realistic AI expectations, right? And the importance of consistency. So, I would say that, even though we have that challenge, so there may be some people who, are hesitant with AI, right? They're like, "AI, I'm scared of it and whatnot," but, you know, AI can do so many things for so many businesses, right? Small and medium-sized business owners that, um, it's really beneficial, and it's how to use AI, right? How to use AI, and we're here to teach you how to use AI, for your business. I hope I answered the question, right.
Yeah, you did. But let's say, what is a training like?
So, we do all things related. So, how it works is, we give demos to our tool for leads who are interested in using a tool like us. From there, we answer all the questions that they may have, right? So, like, one question is, does Aggie learn your voice, your brand voice? Yes, she does. And from there, we have an onboarding session where it takes about an hour. We get them right. We connect other socials. We understand their brand a bit better, and then, after, like, we have follow-ups when it comes to what to post, when to post, right? Um, so it's more about giving them a tool, hand-holding, right? That's a really big thing. We don't wanna show you all of this in our tool and then get you overwhelmed and then scare you away. All about, being consistent with, meetings and whatnot, right? Asking, them if they need help, right? So that's something I would say, like, the training is like that until they're comfortable enough to do it themselves.
Yes. That kind of leads into my next question. I know I felt overwhelmed about social media. So, and I think many small businesses do feel overwhelmed. How does Aggie simplify that process for them?
Oh, that's a great question, yes. So Aggie helps, businesses with no social media presence, or even if they have social media presence, right? So I've worked with numerous, small and medium-sized businesses who, come to us and they're like, "Hey, I don't have an Instagram, I don't have a LinkedIn, I don't have Twitter, I don't have none of that. How can you help?" And, this goes back to the question of what makes Aggie different than, our competitors, for example, or other social media automated tools like us. Um, we actually go the extra length for our users, right? So we help them when it comes to, if they need to create an Instagram, we'll help them. We'll walk them through that, right? If they need to create a LinkedIn, we'll help them. We'll walk them through that. If they want to, this goes back to just meeting with them consistently. If they want to meet consistently for, I don't know, like once a week, every week, that's when we step in and we help them.
Excellent. How about just the different platforms? So if I come to you and say, like you just said, Aggie, LinkedIn, how do I know which ones? How do you help? How do I decide?
Yeah, 100%. So, great question. I would say, it depends on what you're trying to get out of, uh, each platform. So each platform is different, right? LinkedIn is more business professional. It's more, networking, right? Getting yourself out there in that target audience space. Whereas Instagram, everyone's on Instagram, right? So Instagram, posting, it really depends. Posting on Instagram, like your promotions, if you have promotions, right? Posting updates about like what you do, your personal life, a little mixture of all of that, right? Same thing with Facebook. But the LinkedIn strategy is a bit different because you want to portray yourself out there and network. You want to portray yourself in a way where you're open to network with other people, depending on, what your goals are at the end of the day. So yes, that's kind of what we would tell them, not to kind of overwhelm them, right?
Right. Do you share like one post across all platforms? Do you make it different for each platform? What is that answer?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both actually. So, sometimes some users are like, I strictly want to post specific things onto LinkedIn and leave it like that. But we do have this process called syndication where it's like, you're able to post to multiple different platforms, at the same time, with the same message, same image if you want. We do have video as well. Um, And then another thing is, say for example, you own a franchise, right? And you have about 5 different locations. This goes back to the whole syndication process. You're able to kind of connect all the socials for each of those franchises and post the same message out. You're more than welcome to, customize the captions if you like with different hashtags, right? Those really do help, especially on Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot to get recognition. But that's something that it's open to the user. I'm here to always give advice when it comes to what to post, when to post, where do I post it, and whatnot. So yeah,
How about a day? I've had people ask me like a day. Is there a better day? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week, 5 days a week?
that's a great question. So Aggie, as I mentioned, she comes in and she gives you a whole month's worth of posts, right? So AI, social media, whole month's worth of posts, randomizes the times and days depending on your like when do you post. So she learns about your posts already, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
And she comes in, she gives you all these random dates, and you're welcome to keep it how it is, right? Because she's suggesting that to you. Post on Tuesday at 3 p.m., right? Or you can go in and fix a couple things up yourself. So it's a bit you can be as hands-on or as hands-off as possible when it comes to that, for sure.
Well, so I'm going to ask a old man question at 55 years old. You youngsters, what are hashtags and are they important?
Hashtags, okay, so hashtags are a way to get recognition. I would say it's more so like branding yourself, right? So when it comes to hashtags, a lot of people use them on Instagram, on LinkedIn, right? On Facebook, on Twitter. Um, but it gives recognition in a way where, say, for example, I own a coffee shop and my slogan is coffee every day keeps something away, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And I use that hashtag consistently. So when that goes in the algorithm of someone and they're scrolling, it goes to their algorithm, they'll see it and it'll be consistent where when they click that hashtag, it goes directly to all their posts. So it's a good way to brand yourself and get that recognition and whatnot.
Yeah. How about, I know actually about times. How about weekends? That's one thing I always think about is it good to do weekends? People are off, but then they're not working. So what about weekends?
Yes, that's a great question. I would say personally, weekends could be beneficial, but at the end of the day, I would suggest keeping it business hours, right? I would suggest Monday through Friday, just because for example, Monday night, someone is scrolling and then before going to bed, right? And they see that. Then same thing with Tuesday night, scroll to bed before they see that. Before they go go to bed, they'll see that. Whereas on the weekends, people are out with family, right? They're not really on their phone that much. So I would suggest weekends are the best way to, I mean, to like relax and not post, whereas weekdays are better to post and get that recognition and whatnot.
Okay, good. How about time? The time saver. Let's say before Aggie, how much time would you say an average person has to spend on social media versus after Aggie?
Yeah, great question. So before Aggie, I would say a lot of people they would spend at least 50% of their time, but more on social media trying to manage that market themselves and whatnot. And that takes a lot of time from them, right? When they can be doing other things, right? Working with front facing with working with users in the front end and whatnot, or working with their clients and whatnot. But when you do Aggie, it takes 1 hour of your month, right? So like what I mean by that is she generates a whole month's worth of content. For an hour you go in, you schedule those posts, you want to, pick and choose what to post, when to post, right? And then you're all done. Right. Even less than an hour, 30 minutes. You take 30 minutes with Aggie, our tool, and then from there, you're all set for the month. You don't have to worry about it until next month.
Yeah, use time saver. Use time saver.
Yes.
What's the number one mistake you see businesses make with social media?
I would say I see a lot of businesses, they don't post consistently, right? They'll probably post once every 3 weeks, and the goal is like everyone's on social media nowadays, right? Everyone's on social media. It's important to get on social media. Back then, it was like if you had a website, you were legit, right? Now it's like, okay, websites aren't really used that much. Social media is used, right? So posting less is something that I see a lot of business owners do. the business owners who are like winning, right? And getting all their clients and getting the recognition they want and desire, they're posting every day at that, to keep being consistent, being authentic. This goes back to that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll speak to that. I mean, before I might only did once, twice a week, but I will say, as a Aggie user, it is nice to go in, like you said, spend a couple hours a month, and now I have my whole month planned, and I do 5 days a week on several platforms, so it is really easy and it saves me that time, and I get that consistency for sure. And actually, I am really starting to see a growth in all my platforms, so I really appreciate Aggie for sure.
Yeah, and we're here. I'm glad, you're utilizing it. You're utilizing the customer support side of things, right? So that's great for sure.
Yeah. What's you haven't mentioned really YouTube or TikTok yet. What's your thoughts on them and how are they used for businesses?
Yeah, so right now we're currently trying to do a couple things with TikTok and YouTube. That will be out very, very soon. You're able to post, videos and post them on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. So wherever you see fit, you're more than welcome to post it on. But TikTok and YouTube, those would be specifically for videos. I know TikTok does have this function where you can post images, but TikTok is a really great way to promote yourself, right? A lot of people, they go viral within one night if they post the right video, right? The video that like grabs people's attention and they get all those likes. And so it's gonna be great once those are definitely launched. So I'm excited for that.
It's actually brought up a good question. What are the likes versus comments versus what's important? What are you trying to do to go viral in that sense?
For TikTok specifically?
Yeah, yeah. But or you can really use any platform, or maybe give me a couple examples over a couple different platforms.
Yeah, so TikTok, the goal is to get a lot of likes, right? Post something that will grab people's attention. Use hashtags on TikTok. That's really big as well. Hashtags are
Mhm.
extremely important. Now when it comes to Instagram and Facebook, say for example, you're someone who is just starting out with social media. Um, as long as you're posting and you're getting like one like a day or two likes, by the time you know it, in like 5 months, I would say, from when you started, you'll start to see those likes kind of increase, right? Because it'll come to someone's algorithm, their feed and whatnot. So there really isn't a specific number of likes or comments or shares. It's really about consistency because your post will get out to the right target audience. So yeah.
You're good. How about just your audience? You've mentioned the audience a couple of times now. How do you get many more audience? I get the likes and shares maybe sometimes, but let's just say on LinkedIn, for example, let's just say you only follow or connect with 100 people. How do you grow that on that network?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really the message, right? What like a picture can mean so many things, but the caption, right? The message which you're putting in the caption, really does connect people. We have things in our tool that is called like topics and call to actions, right? Call to actions are more about, getting your target audience to do something like let's connect, right? Or starting with a question. It's kind of like a ethos, pathos, logos type of thing, right? Like evoking the emotion, persuading someone to do something and informing them at the same time. Using all those three are really critical when trying to get, more leads or more connections on LinkedIn, for example. So yeah.
Nice. I know in Aggie, there's like different voices. What is that?
So I'll give you like a little like background. So Aggie started off as Audience Genomics. Audience Genomics is the parent company of Aggie, right? Audience Genomics, we still have it. This big enterprise software where it understands your brand voice, your brand personality through social media. So through the comments, the likes, through the pictures and whatnot and captions. Now this tool was used for a lot of Fortune 500 companies, where we would work with private equity investors and they would invest in the upcoming businesses that were going to go viral, right? And the CEO, Greg Weinstein, he was like, okay, we have this tool that, a lot of these private equity investors are using in big time companies. um, let's provide this to small and medium-sized businesses, right? Let's not only forget about those businesses that are, struggling and may want to use it, right? Because social media, Once again, it's extremely important. Now after that, we decided to come up with the whole Aggie, right? And there's this tool that understands your brand voice. Going back to that, it's brand personality. How are you portrayed? How are you talking in your captions, right? What are you posting that makes you um for example, a hero brand, right? What makes you a innocent brand? Now, hero brand, I'll just give you an example quickly. Nike. Nike would be considered a hero brand because all of their social media is about just do it, getting things done, accomplishments. Whereas the Dove brand, the soap brand, would be innocent because it's about purity, right? Being pure in a way. So when it comes to brand voice, it's kind of like key archetypes, right? Carl Jung, the inventor of psychoanalysis, he came up with this idea, this theory that every brand, every company, every movie, every TV show, every book has a brand key archetype, a personality to it. So hope that makes sense.
It does. How do I choose? I mean, so, how does a business choose that? I'm not big as Nike, so how do I choose?
We have this thing where you'll put in your Instagram, right? And Aggie will understand all your metrics and your insights and data using your backend, right? Audience genomics, that platform. And she will categorize you into a brand voice. So depending on how you posted in the past, she'll put you in this category. Okay, you're an everyman. Everyman is kind of like your everyday average Joe. Everyone deserves a fair chance, fair shot. That's kind of like what she'll put you in. Then from there, if you want to test out other brand voices, you're more than welcome to kind of utilize our text caption button where, say, for example, you're like, I kind of want this supposed to be a hero brand, a hero voice, right? Hero archetype. Let me switch it into that brand voice, that brand personality, and post it and test it out. So automatically, you're putting in your Instagram. She understands it and she puts you in that category, but you're more than welcome to explore other options. Now, for those who don't have Instagrams, right? And there's a lot of users who come to us and say, I don't have an Instagram. You're more than welcome to put in an Instagram that you can emulate. So say, for example, this goes back to Nike, right? You're a small business owner who owns a gym, but also sells apparel for like fitness and whatnot. You love how Nike is advertising themselves and putting themselves out on social media, specifically Instagram. You put in their Instagram handle, and Aggie, she'll pull all of their metrics, all of their data, their insights from Instagram. And you can actually use that, right? You can use that. And then from there, you can just change your name to your company name. And that's kind of how that would go for those who do not have social media. Well, Instagram social media.
Yeah, it's a great tool to use. But since we were talking about brain voice, how can businesses leverage AI without losing their authentic brand voice?
Great question. Um, so I would say unlike unlike pure AI tools, Aggie specifically, we provide direct support. So onboarding, consulting, whatever you may categorize it. And we leverage all the data driven insights, so brand voices, for example. Um, and you know, we are an AI company, but a lot, like going back to in the beginning when I said a lot of people they struggle to get to customer support with AI companies. Um, we're not the robot behind the robot. We're the human behind the robot. So we have the capability to actually change things around, right? Make it more human friendly, right? Or make it more to the point where you're able to talk to real life people.
What's uh what's the surprising lesson you'll learn from working with small business owners?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of things, a lot of things. And I'm so grateful for the position I have right now because I'm working with real estate agents, right? I'm working with business brokers. I'm working with not real estate agents, real estate agents. I'm working with business brokers. I'm working with lawyers. I'm working with small restaurant owners, right? And it's great because I learn a lot of different like new language from these different clients of mine, right? And it's just great because I'm building these connections with them. I'm, building that trust, right? That credibility. And I would say learning everything that I can when I'm meeting with a certain individual that, owns a law firm, right? Learning new language and you know, learning that at the same time I'm networking. That's really important, right? That's one lesson I have learned to network, not to be afraid to ask questions, right, when it comes to certain things, in these business owners. So yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned fair. How about on the opposite side? How about us business owners who just fair social media? What are a couple of things you would tell us?
Don't be scared. It's okay. Like, um, it's all about trial and error. Going back to that, it's all about testing it out. You never know what you're gonna get out of it if you don't test it out, right? That's important, extremely important. Um, don't be frightened. We're here. Aggie's here if you want to come and see for yourself. If you want to meet the team, right? And at the same time, we're a small startup company. So we know everyone in the company. I know the CEO, right? I know the tech team. I know the marketing team. So um, we always gather feedback, where we're here to support each and every one of you guys when it comes to social media. And yeah, I hope you guys definitely consider it.
Yes, definitely. How about just and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I'll speak. I'm 55. I know something about social media, but I watch my 15-year-old daughter flip around Instagram and everything else. What would you tell me someone like a little bit older adult who's maybe less experienced than these younger people?
This goes back to just the whole support thing. This goes back to
Yeah.
that. Um, Helping them, right? When it comes to, because there are some times where, I'm working with people who are in their 60s and they don't know how to use a computer, but it's all about, being patient, right? Being patient with them, knowing that they don't know how to use social media, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to help, right? I don't care if you're very young or very old or wherever you like, whatever age range you are in, but definitely helping them going, like I said, I mentioned going the extra step for them always, right? We value that. We value our users. We value people who are just getting on social media or even have social media but don't know how to use it. So yeah.
Yeah. How about if it's a listener is skeptical about AI? What would you tell them?
I would say AI is changing every single day. AI is changing every single day, and that may be scary, but it can be helpful too, really impactful, right? Um, I would say AI, it's not a human, right? A lot of people think it's gonna take over and whatnot, but AI was built by a human, right? And the person who built AI, there's so many things that the person can do, maybe, you know, fixing certain things up when it comes to AI, right? But understanding that AI was invented by a human and there still are humans behind AI.
You mentioned earlier about metrics. What were you referring to?
So this goes back to the tool itself. Um, So Aggie, she understands your metrics, your insights, your data from the socials that you already have, right? Now, when it comes to the metrics, I mean the likes, the comments, the shares, the times that you're posting, the dates that you're posting, right? How often are you posting? How often are you not posting, right? Learning about your target audience. So if you're a coffee company, and the Aggie understands that you're targeting those who are in the coffee who love coffee, right? That algorithm, that type of thing is what I'm saying. All those metrics and insights, that's what I mean.
Hmm. Is there anything in Aggie you want to mention?
Um, I would say I it's a great company. We are really trustworthy. We're always looking to bring many people on board and help them with their social media to save time, right? That's the goal. If you're looking to save time and not hire marketing agencies that cost thousands of dollars, we're here. What we value are people, right? The customer support, we're here to help. We understand that things can definitely get in the way when it comes to social media. That's why Aggie's here to save you, right? Save your social media, help you save time, understand your brand better because sometimes a lot of people they don't know their brand, right? They're just posting blindly. And that's one thing that we can help you with is understand your brand, understand what it is you need, and what you want to put out there for your target audience.
Very nice. How about this? What is one challenge our listener community could help you solve?
So I would say the misconceptions about AI, right? Expecting instant results, right? Um, so Aggie you're not gonna see instant results right then and there. So say for example, you use Aggie and you post, the next day, you're not gonna see 20 likes from using Aggie. It's about being consistent, right? Um, Aggie helps by simplifying the process. That's one thing too, while maintaining that human touch. So that just goes back and wrapping everything that I said in the previous, questions and answers, that.
Very good. I know you mentioned a little bit. There's some things that are coming out from Aggie. Is there anything else you can share with us? Maybe like a couple years in the road, or is that Aggie's working on developing that maybe it'll help us?
Yeah, so, so that's the thing, because we are an AI company, AI is drastically improving every single day. So once something is improved, we're looking at it and we're trying to see if that can be compatible with our platform, right? So as AI increases and rapidly and improves every day, you're only going to see Aggie do the same thing. So that's the thing that I could say right now, um, because that goes back to just the whole AI thing. So
Yeah.
as long as AI is improving, Aggie's always improving. That's the thing that I can say.
Yes. Nice. Very nice. So first half we learned from you. The second half, I'd like to learn a little bit about you. So let's go back. Did you always know you? And we'll talk a little bit about your entrepreneur spirit here, but did you always know you were interested really in things like Aggie and AI in social media?
Funny story. I actually went to Simon Business School at the University of Rochester. I got my master's in business analytics. So I was, doing a lot of coding and whatnot and understanding how numbers are really important when it comes to businesses, right? I took two courses that really made me fall in love with AI and then also marketing. So I took a course called Digital Marketing Strategy. And, marketing I really fell in love with marketing. I really fell in love with the way how we market ourselves, right? Like we can market our companies, but you can also market yourself, right? So I fell in love with that aspect. And then I took a course called AI in Business. And in that course, I understood that AI was really scary, right? Learning because AI is it's so new to this world, even though it's drastically like improving, it's so new that the things that I learned in that course was you can use AI, but understand that you still need that human aspect to it, right? AI can only help with so much, right? You know what I mean? So, when I took those courses, I graduated with my master's like a year ago, and I was looking for more experience in the workforce, right? So I was looking primarily for internships. I really loved the AI component and the marketing component, so I came across Aggie, right? And they hired me. I started off as a business developer, specifically in sales, selling the tool, pitching the tool. I learned a lot of things when it comes to that, right? About sales in general, um, the ethos, pathos, logos, right? Presenting, pitching, um, but also understanding social cues, right? You want to understand the person you're selling something to, be trusting, right? Starterful questions don't just go in like, "Hey, I have this tool, you wanna buy it?" No, you gotta actually learn. You gotta learn, you know? But once Aggie started becoming a bit bigger, our company started growing a bit, I was offered to be full-time in the client and customer support side of things, but also, like, give my social media expertise, to my clients and whatnot. So, yes, to answer your question, yes, that's kind of like a little background.
It's very nice. Yeah, I would say one thing I was impressed with whenever our first couple meetings, you and like I said, the other couple people that were on the phone call, you asked the right questions. You got to know my company. That was really refreshing to me and was very helpful to me. It made my decision easier to join just because you guys asked some great questions for sure. I want to mention though, just a little bit about your entrepreneur spirit though, because I think so. Tell me a little bit about it, but I think it's also interesting because then you're knowing a little about what I'm going through or fellow business owners are going through. So talk about your entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah, so I've always known this, right? I've always known that I've been into fashion. I love fashion. It's something that so I say this. So like my family, they're all musicians. They love to sing, make songs and whatnot. And then I'm kind of like the business girly, right? But I also have my type of art. So that's their art, but my art is fashion, right? And that's putting certain pieces of clothing together. I have like that eye for it. And then recently, I was like, let me get into it more. Let me actually like make something of myself, right? I have this passion and it doesn't feel like work, right? It does not feel like work at all. Um, I love fashion. I started, getting on my shell a bit more, meeting other stylists, meeting designers, meeting models, right? But then also expanding my network when it came to meeting singers, right? Meeting poets, meeting dancers, and just I decided to, make a company. The name is Natorious. So it's a kind. So Notorious, the name Notorious, right? But I wanted it to be a bit, like, unique to me, so I put Natorious. Yeah, and it's fairly new, and I'm just in the process of, building my portfolio, building my website, doing all of that, and it's just great because it's something that I'm actually looking forward to do every single day. It's to just build my business up from the ground.
Yeah, I love that name. I love it. I love where you thought about it. I love the name. I love the name. I do. You do for sure. And I've seen a lot of business names in my days of business broker. I actually really like that one. That is really, really good. That's really good. Um, yeah, but I think that's fantastic about starting a company. I think it also does help you, like I said, know what us fellow business owners are going through and starting from scratch and pain and heartache that we go through. So I think it'll help you also with Aggie. But that's fantastic. Is there anybody or a few people you want to do for a shout out to Aggie about just how great they are and wonderful and team members they are?
Yes, I would love to shout out first and foremost Tyler Esposito. Esposito, he is, my right hand man. Me and him work really closely together. I would love to shout out, Greg Diller. He's amazing, great. Thank you, Greg, for everything. And also Greg Weinstein, the CEO, amazing, amazing guy. You guys are all amazing. Thank you for allowing me to be part of of a team that is amazing, improving, growing every single day, and yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, they are all great.
Yeah,
Tyler, I have a soft spot for Tyler too.
yes,
So I agree. They're a great team, a great team.
yes.
Um, what do you like to do in your free time? Besides, of course, you have fashion, you have Aggie, but in your free time, what else do you like to do?
I love to play chess. I'm into chess. I play chess every single day. Um, my dad, he played chess for years and he tried getting me into chess. I didn't really like it. I thought of it as an old person game, right? But I watched this one show called The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. It was a limited series, and I fell in love with it. Like seeing a woman, play chess, it was just so inspiring. I was just like, let me learn chess. And I've been obsessed with it every single time that I play, every single time that I see someone, on the street playing, right? For example, in New York City, they have, like, chess, boards everywhere, just I love it a lot. I also, I'm a cat person, I love to hang out with my cat. I love to hang out with friends, family. I love to go to social events to meet people. I would say I'm pretty bubbly, so, like, meeting people and getting their contact and seeing, like, what we can do in the future for future endeavors, right? How we can connect, network, and leverage that. Um, so yeah, that's what I like to do on my free time.
Excellent. Well, I will tell you, I haven't played for a while, but actually I grew up playing chess. So I did not know that. So now we're gonna have a
Yes,
time.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do a game.
Right. Oh, yes, yes, yes. My stepfather got involved like seventh grade, and we had like a chess club, and he came in and actually just taught us. I mean, it's going back, oh my god, a long time ago. But I was the little eighth grade chess champion of my school. He was so proud, and it was interesting. He really got into it. I mean, he really got into it and really helped us all that stuff. But yes, I became very good at chess and a little bit of a delay, so I'll have to brush up and then call you, and we'll have to have a little tournament.
What's your favorite piece
Oh,
besides the queen, of course?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I would say to you, I actually like the knight.
The knight, that's a great one. I love the bishop.
Yeah,
I'm really good with bishops. Yeah,
and I'm gonna be honest with you, I literally was tossing those 2, and that's a true answer. I was
that's literally what me. But like, if I had to choose, I would say I'm really, really good with the bishops for sure.
because I'll be
Yeah,
even the queen. I mean, I know, obviously for people who don't know how
yeah.
chess, it might be a little bit confused right now, but for those chess people, the queen's great. But I'll tell you, I forget sometimes to even use her. I remember that way back when my stepfather like, why don't you use the queen more? It's so powerful. And I like the knights and bishops, and I do a lot of my strategy with them. So
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing my father taught me was life is like a board of chess, right? You make decisions, you make sacrifices, and that's probably another reason why I got so into it because it's true, it's reflectant. Like one day I was going through a lot, right? Probably was just stress, and my abilities on the game that I was playing wasn't as sharp as the other games,
Mhm.
right? Whereas if I have a clear mind and I'm focused, I'm gonna win. That's kind of how I see it. So chess is like life for sure. Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right, and thank you for that little helpful hints. Now I'll connect you on the bad day. I'll ask Tyler when you're having a bad day, then play against you. Now that's great. That is really, really great. How about connect? If some of my viewers want to connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
I have a couple places. So LinkedIn, my first and last name. And then if they want to check out, my new LinkedIn page, Natorious, more than welcome to do that. Same thing with Instagram, natorious.co. It's spelled a bit differently. Natoreus. That's kind of how I spelled it. And then also through Aggie, my email first name dot last name at laggydo.com. That's kind of how we can connect.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I want to thank you. I had really a great time here talking to you personally in about Aggie. It really is a great tool. So thanks so much for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you.
I want to thank the audience. If you learned something today or laughed, please tell somebody about the podcast. Again, thank you very much. This has been another exciting episode of Steel City Growth. See you next time. That's a wrap on another episode of Steel City Growth. Thanks for joining us. For show notes and more, visit steelcitygrowth.live. Steel City Growth is proudly sponsored by Murphy Business of Pittsburgh, offering expert guidance in buying, selling, and valuing businesses to help you achieve your goals. Until next time.